Hi friends. I am Julie. Welcome to the channel Bollywood King. Here in this channel I usually react to different interesting Shah Rukh Khan videos. Today I am going to watch Shah Rukh Khan's interview at Global Business Summit. It is very recent interview of Shah Rukh Khan. It is from 2018. I hope you will enjoy the video. Let's start without losing any time.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much.
Because we can never get enough of you, Shahrukh. Please take a seat. I'm going to invite on stage now my colleague Supriya Srinath, Executive Editor, ET Now, for a quick chat with Mr. Khan.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you very much. You
you,
have
Supriya.
all the luck.
Thank you.
You are handsome and may I also say extremely sexy. But you said something which was interesting to me. You said the
तो
way...
फिर इंटरव्यू नहीं करते ना इतना बोल दिया तो अभी छोड़
मुद्दे
लाइट्स
की
ऑफ
बात
कर
पे
दो
आते
यार
हैं. Okay, you said something that was interesting. You said the way cinema is evolving.
Okay, can I just stop you first, please?
Ah.
You can ask me 3 questions. You can't ask me about my legal problems.
I will not.
Okay, and you cannot ask me. I'm being clear.
Farm
You cannot
house के
ask
बारे
me.
में बात कर सकते
नहीं नहीं तुम चलो ना. You cannot ask me about why am I not doing socially relevant films, films like Chak De
I
or
will
nationalist
not.
films, okay?
Yes.
I do what I feel like doing. So please don't. And
Fair
my third
point.
question that you can ask, I'll tell you whenever you ask.
All right. So I'm going to go to the
Oh my god. The look on his face. So naughty, so adorable.
question that I think I'm permitted to ask because you said something very relevant. You said the way cinema is evolving and the way disruption is happening, the role of actors and stars will diminish. Where will we get our next Shah Rukh Khan from?
वो तो नहीं मिलेगा. This is it. That's why I'm envious of you guys. This is the last touch कर लो, feel कर लो, smell कर लो. मुझको इसके बाद.
I think a lot of the audience will say some people have all the luck.
My species is going to be extinct. I'm like the dinosaur of you. This is it. This is the last time you're seeing a star. But honestly and seriously speaking, I really believe that longevity, they will be stars, inshallah, bigger than me. They might not come from cinema, perhaps, but the digital part of cinema. They'll be, you know, when I see my kids and they're watching these vines for 6 seconds, very small versions of what we think is cinema. And they have their own stars.
Right.
So they will be digital stars, I believe, and much bigger stars than I can ever be, I believe. And I truly believe that. But it may not come for the kind of longevity. You know, there used to be a time when films used to come out, there used to be Silver Jubilee, there used to be Golden Jubilee. But they didn't run, you know.
For so many years.
They didn't earn as much as our films do in the 3 days. So the longevity is going to reduce, just like there are no Silver Jubilees and Golden Jubilees. But I think the import, if you're going to measure it by the standard of earnings, etc., will be even larger and bigger as far as the stars are concerned.
So that actually brings me to a question. What today qualifies a hit? It was 100 crore pehle, फिर उसके बाद 200 crore. Now this whole 300 crore club, you're talking about, you know, 1,000 crore club. Dangal does so well in China. What is today a hit?
जलाओ मत मैं कहाँ पहुँचा वहाँ पे 500 करोड़ कौन सा 500 करोड़ हमारा यहाँ 50 नहीं हो रहा. But to be honest, I think you know the ways. I think this is just the surface that is being scratched. I think it's wonderful what Amir has done. I think what Salman manages to do with every film of his, mashallah. But I think this is just scratching the surface right now. What's going to happen is, this is a small little figure I'll tell you. We do have very few theaters.
That's right.
In our country compared to the number of people who would like to. So there is a bottleneck from, you know, wanting to supply to the consumer. So there's a bottleneck. There are not enough theaters. That's why films do so well in China. You know, they have like 60,000 theaters. We have about 10 to 12,000 theaters. So the biggest of films, and in spite of that, Dangal has done more than 500 crores and Tiger Zinda has done 500 crores or whatever. So all these films are actually being able to garner those eyeballs. But the business, like you said, is it going to be 500 or 600? I think the big films are going to be about 2,000 crores. I think if we have enough cinemas, the movies are going to do that kind of business. I think that will genuinely qualify for a hit.
And that will change the face of it.
It will,
but,
100%.
I want to ask you this. You know, when an actor talks about profits and when he talks about a business venture, he's either frowned upon or not taken as seriously. How do you mix the two roles? You are an extremely sensitive actor par excellence, and you then are a very profitable businessman as well.
Not very profitable.
reasonably profitable.
वरना यहाँ थोड़ी ना आता कहीं पे पैसे खर्च कर रहा होता the genuine truth is that, it is an industry. It is a job. And I think the more monies that come into this business, the better films you can make. Otherwise, we're just going to be sitting and saying, हमारी film वैसे क्यों नहीं चलती, जैसे वहाँ की फिल्में चलती हैं. So I think one needs to understand, and I've been very fortunate that the people that I worked with, Mr. Yash Chopra to begin with, and up to now, all the youngsters, they all have this sensibility that we need to make money for this industry to grow so we can invest it back. Yes, it is frowned upon if a star is just talking about the huge prices that we talk about, and I'm taking it and just taking it home. But if you're taking those earnings, those profits, and putting it back into cinema in terms of technology, and even in terms of investment for making theaters grow, or whatever you may need to grow it, I think then it should not be frowned upon. But I think it's frowned upon normally when, you hear a actor katna price ho gaya, but it becomes selfish in any business to be frowned upon. But if it's selfless and it's an industry, then it's a good thing.
But I will ask you this question. Of late, you've been talking a lot about actors investing back in small films. The ones that go beyond formulas, the ones that are doing very well, and you've been on record to talk about that. I think you've partly answered my question that isn't the biggest hurdle to films like that the price of stars and actors like yourselves?
No, I've done a film like, actually, Chak De India was a very low-budget film. And the pricing was like that. And they're friends, so you can have a point system of earning. I think big stars should participate in small films, what we call small. I'm sorry, one should not call it small, but differently oriented films which are not in your face commercials. So Dear Zindagi was like that. And I think if, well-known, good production houses, they come together to make interesting. Jungli Films is doing it with Vineet. So if you are able to invest small monies into more interesting films. So Karan and me managed with Dear Zindagi and Gauri. I think most stars will do small films or films which are less budget, and you can figure out the earnings by point systems, and I don't think anybody moves away from that. If you offer me a really nice film which is not the big budget ticket, I'll still take it, and I'm sure all these stars would do it.
So let me just move to disruption, and I have to talk digital. What does the entry of a Netflix or an Amazon and all of that really mean for people like yourselves? You mentioned something like the appointment cinema is going to die. The appointment cinema perhaps is not going to be what it is today. So what does the influx of digital in terms of the things that I've quoted really mean for cinema today?
I think it's fantastic. It's fantastic. We may worry about it, like I was telling you, my friends and all, we were discussing last night. I think the main thing that's going to happen with Netflix and these digital platforms coming in, the main thing is going to be that the medium and small films will find a house to release in. And I truly believe at this point in time, when you hear of a film called Bright with Mr. Will Smith in it, and you think it's a big film and a big stars come on Netflix, oh, what's going to happen to theaters? No, I think community viewing is not going to go out of fashion. People will love to watch things together, there is a beauty in watching a live football match instead of seeing a recorded one. And big cinema ticket, big films will be like that. While the medium films and the small films, which you said, do not find sometimes, investment, will find house there. So I think at the end of it all, Netflix is really, really going to uplift all the medium and small cinema. Of course, they'll have the big ticket films also. And big cinema will only release in theaters where you go with families and friends and go and watch it.
So you have a content tie-up with Netflix, but you're also an extremely big brand. How do you intend leveraging this while still being a content partner with a platform like Netflix? And will you at all think about a platform like that in the future? In India, something like an Alt Balaji or Hotstar is very hot. Are you going to at all think about that? I was interviewing Karan Johar, and he said, we may look at an app to service this industry on internet. Is something like that on the horizon for you, considering digital is the future and there's acceptance of that?
So are you asking me, would I be a producer or would I act in it?
Yes. Will you act in it? Will you act in a Netflix original?
But why not? I mean, the platform is not important for acting. For a true blue actor, which I think I am, you just need a stage. I can perform here, and I can do it on television. I've done that. See, someone like me has risen from there. I've come in drama and theater, and these are not stepping stones, but I've been acting everywhere in cinema. So if there's a new platform, why should it take away from the importance of acting or importance of telling a good story? See, like what I said, at the end of it all, if we are going to bind people with the emotions, wherever, however it takes, that'll be rather selfish if I say, oh, I have a good emotion to sell or, transfer onto the audience, but I'm not going to do it on a Netflix. 100% I should do it. It has far-reaching effects. I think people like Netflix and other digital platforms will take some of our actors and filmmakers international also because, they have a big viewership. You should utilize that. So,
But when you say Netflix or a Hotstar or an Amazon, what is it that's missing in these apps? What more would you want to see in some of these?
यार इतना इंटेलिजेंट लगता हूँ इतना हूँ नहीं मैं
But क्या होना चाहिए?
I adore this about Shah Rukh Khan so much. Whenever he speaks seriously for some time, immediately cracks a joke and most of the time self-reprimanding type.
Other than the movies and other than the series that we're all hooked on to, and I'll ask you your favorite series on Netflix, what more would you want these apps to offer? Don't give me that cold stare. I'm moving to my next question.
मेरे को इसका आंसर ये वाला क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछ सकते मुझसे ये बैंड है
ठीक है, done. Okay. You said it will take our actors to more global, it will take our actors overseas, will make it more popular. You also said about 2-3 months back, I think it was, I don't know if it was in Davos, you mentioned that Indian cinema will have to change to adapt to being global cinema. What changes are you talking about?
I think when I say this, maybe I made a little mistake. I think when I was talking about, Indian cinema adapting to global cinema, I meant in terms of length and interval, which I keep mentioning every time, and maybe the screenplay writing also, and maybe the songs also. But I think I forgot to mention I'm talking more about how the Americans like the film and how the Europeans like the film. Having said that, I think this huge market in China, this huge market in South America, and this huge market in Africa, they really are not bothered about, this uniform is for Europe and for America, where cinema is shorter, without an interval. So, and that is also a huge market. So I meant it for them. But as far as cinema from India is concerned, we can retain our songs and dances, because that is a USP. But I do feel in the times that are changing, I didn't mean it to deride Indian cinema. I mean people have less time now. Time has become, investment of time is becoming the biggest investment. And when I see youngsters, they just want to see things quickly and move on. So I think that uniformity will have to come in Indian cinema, where we'll have to make films tighter. And I'm also a big believer of no intervals, because, it just kind of breaks the continuity. And
But do you see a lot of Indian movies moving away from the 3-hour format, maybe to 1 hour, 30 minutes?
Yes, they will. And, I don't know if you know this, when we release our films overseas sometimes, there are edits which are shorter and which are as good sometimes they're not as good. So I think we'll have to let go and decide that if I'm going to attend your party, I have to wear the clothes that you have specified on the invitation. So if you said formal, I can't come in shorts. So the world cinema is very clear. They have a uniform explained that this is what we like to watch films, and the world watches those films. We do form a very small part of it as yet, Indian films. So we need to follow, and I think that dignity we need to give to the world cinema, that we'll change our uniform a little without changing the content.
So talking about change, Mr. Khan, what has really changed as far as cinema making is concerned? And I was speaking to you earlier, the way movie was made when you entered the film industry vis-a-vis how they're being made now. There is so much more emphasis on technology. There is so much more emphasis on marketing and sales and product placement. What has it done to movie making at large? Has it changed the soul of filmmaking? I mean, how have things changed for someone like you, from an actor to a producer to still being an actor? I mean,
I'll be honest, I'm a producer by choice only because I want to make the kind of films I think should be made.
Sure.
When you're a star, then you get completely taken in by the fact that my next film should be a big hit. So I produce films so I can do different kind of films and showcase it to everyone. Things have changed. I think technology has changed. There is a lot more corporatization. As far as the methodology and how people now look at finances and businesses, it's not loose. I think we have become more, disciplined. We finish films on time. Date releases, all this wasn't there. Earlier ऐसा होता था, हम गए शूटिंग पे तो मेरे डायरेक्टर ऐसा बोलते आजा लाडले बैठ जा कुछ करें आज तो हाँ सर कुछ कर लेते हैं क्या करते हैं लव सीन कर लेते हैं यार लेकिन ये लड़की नहीं आई है तो दूसरा सीन कर लेते हैं so it was like this and now it has changed completely. Do you know what you're going to do? There are rehearsals and everything is fixed and it's mainly because the stakes are very high. It's very expensive to make a film. To all businessmen here, it is genuinely a high-risk business. It seems from the outside that films easy money. No, and all these figures that you hear are mostly gross. So when you make them net, The profits are very, very
So
few.
it's not really 1,000 crore or 500 crore profit that actually...
I mean, that
gets
collection
ignored.
is there, but everybody understands gross is really different from what happens at the end of... it's nice to expound those figures, but...
But as a producer, when you're making a movie, does it cross your mind that, okay, what kind of product placements do I need? What are my avenues to make, to hedge my bets before the movie releases? Does it cross your mind?
Well, I think I'll take the responsibility of introducing product placement in
That's
films.
right,
I
yes.
started with Phir Bhi Dil Hai Hindustani, and I think it's a good place if you can do it with sensitivity and some creativity. You just can't be doing each and everything. So I do it wherever it's possible. If you have a car in the film, you can go to a brand, I may go to my own Hyundai and say, can we have it? And not perhaps only take money. You know, sometimes I'm blowing up 20 cars in a film, so maybe just the cars. So to cover up and hedge your cost, yes, I think it's all right to do it, but creatively. You can't be in your face and not
True,
nice.
and you'll kill the whole spirit of cinema. A quick question on sports, because that's also entertainment increasingly. You've got 3 T20 teams in South Africa, West Indies, and also India. Has what started as a hobby really become a very well thought out business venture?
A lot of people will bid to differ here, but I think you should, I'm a big believer that you should only do the business which is close to your heart, not close to your head. It should be something that you feel for. I love sports. I got an opportunity in cricket. I love cinema, so I keep doing as an actor and as a producer. And I like children, and I say this again and again. I would love to do theme parks for children. Kidzania is one. So my businesses are completely related to the heart. I would not venture into a business if it doesn't appeal to my heart. And I think that's when you can take losses, because you know this means so much to you. And when the profits come, it seems doubly happy. It seems doubly rewarding when you do that. So cricket didn't start as a hobby. I love sports. That was the only sports available, so we started. And now we've expanded. We are in the Caribbeans, and we are now in South Africa.
That's right.
And I think as a brand building, so when we're advertising, our advertisers get the whole world, the whole year round. And we get to choose better players from all over the world now. You know, we have access to that. So I think the business of sports is also, I always believe jab roti kapda makan ek desh mein khatam ho jata hai. Khatam matlab pura ho jata hai. I think the next big thing is entertainment and sports. So I think we are on the cusp of that. And entertainment and sports is going to be really big in our country.
I'll ask you a question that I wasn't intending on asking, but you kind of cueing me to
Phir
it.
kyun pooch rahe ho?
Pushti hu na. What does money mean to you after all these years?
Nothing at all, actually. And I have no compunction saying that. I may joke about it. I'll talk about monies. I'll talk about I'm rich and good looking. The good looking part I believe, the rich part I don't.
You are rich man. You are rich beyond money. Your main wealth is love of people.
But it means nothing to me. You know, I come from a very, very, very humble beginnings, and I'm not romanticizing my Delhi days. I am from a very low middle class house. For me, earning ₹1 lakh meant मैं lakpati हो गया. और I had thought when I went to Mumbai that I'll retire. And I have ₹1 lakh right now. And, I can retire tomorrow. Money means nothing to me unless it is able to create some kind of a effect and change people's life through the work that I put my money in. There's no point just holding money and, yes, I wanted a house, I wanted a car. I'll tell all young children in the world, please feed your stomach first. Those ideologies of कि जब तक गुर्बत और तकलीफ नहीं होती, दुख नहीं होता, आदमी creative नहीं होता, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है यार. You can be creative with the stomach full. So please earn, because you have to earn for your wife, you have to earn for your children, and I've started making my wife also earn for me now. So we're earning for each other. But genuinely, money means nothing if it doesn't have the capacity of changing lives of people in your work. So whichever business you are in, if you're not going to invest back that money and change lives through the business that you are in, it's no point.
वो कहते हैं profit के बिना philosophy नहीं आती है. That's
There
what
should
they
be
say,
profit,
exactly.
but that profit is not for hoarding. I think everybody will agree here, everybody is well-to-do here. That after a certain time, money does not have the kind of value it had when you started off. So you need to allow that money, and I'm not just talking CSR work, I'm talking, you should allow the money to go back into your own world. You don't need to be just doing social service. Let it go back and let it grow. And I'm a very big believer of Make in India kind of thing. For me, I got this opportunity, and I say this with a lot of emotion, that I became a star that I've become. And am I going to lose that opportunity just by buying big cars? No, I will invest it back into a business of cinema where maybe another 100 or 200 children like me get that opportunity, inshallah.
That's a politically good point to end on, Make in India. But I'll take quick questions because you're the king of rapid fire. I'm going to attempt one here. And considering you are at the ETGBS, where
What
does
does that
Shah Rukh
mean,
Khan
ETGBS?
invest? Economic Times Global Business Summit.
Oh, okay. I thought, I, these youngsters, LOL.
Where does Shah Rukh Khan invest his money?
I think if I was asked one thing in the education of my kids, I would like to give them the best education possible. There is no alternative to good education.
A gadget you can't live without.
Abram. तो चाबी लगाया.
Your favorite businessman in India?
मेरे दोस्त हैं, हमारे साथ हुआ है, राजन है यहाँ पे. मेरे सब हम बचपन के दोस्त हैं. I think Ratan Tata Saab is very cool. I haven't met him ever. I just met him socially. What I hear, he's very cool. There's so many. Actually, I really admire lots of businessmen. So some I'm not naming, but Mukesh Bhai is very cool. I think it's amazing to learn from them. I go into their offices, sit down in their board meetings. I think Mr. Lakshmi Mittal had taken me once in London. I get completely intrigued by the vision businessmen have. I get very intrigued by businessmen.
A Netflix series that you're hooked on to?
Narcos was wonderful. I'm waiting for the next season. And yeah, Narcos is the coolest, I think.
A business story that caught your interest in recent times and you can't say Nirav Modi?
I wasn't going to say that. I don't know, yeah, recent time. You tell me some, you are in the Economic Times, you would know all the business stories. Give me a choice, give me 5 choices. A, B, C, D, E, all of the above.
We'll let that pass.
नहीं क्यों बोलो ना. आप तो इतने स्मार्ट हैं, सारा बिजनेस मालूम है, इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स के हेड हैं, come on, go for it.
I said we'll let it pass.
No, please, I want one business story, come on.
Okay, India's growth rate, the PNB fraud scam,
And now
GST.
who's being politically correct?
The GST. Okay, a quick last question. Your mother-in-law is in the audience. Is she tough to please?
नहीं बिल्कुल नहीं. तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम प्यार होता है. मैं पूरी पंजाबी फैमिली को ये गाना गा के पटा लिया मैंने. कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं.
And your favorite Khan at home?
My daughter. And actually, she's a Khanam. We don't have surnames in Pathans. We really don't have this patriarchal thing. So it's actually Khanam means miss and Khan means mister. We don't have surnames. So my daughter, 100%. And my sister, all the girls are my favorite people in the house. The boys are okay.
So let's hear it from all the women in the house for Shah Rukh Khan. Thanks very much for this chat.
Thank you very much.
Such a pleasure.
And I genuinely want to take this opportunity to thank you everyone. I belong to Delhi. For me to come here, this is very humbling that I can come here and speak to so many important, wonderful people. I think ETGBS is fantastic. Thank you, Vineet, for having me over as a guest. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lambaji, and everyone who's been being kind. जाने से पहले GBS के लिए मैं एक डायलॉग बोल देता हूँ. अम्मी जान कहती थी, कोई भी धंधा छोटा नहीं होता और धंधे से बड़ा कोई धर्म नहीं होता. जय GBS. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you, Supriya.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. Such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Shah Rukh Khan never misses an opportunity to win hearts of women. I loved how he mentioned that his favorite Khans in his house are women. The whole interview was mesmerizing. Shah Rukh Khan looked fantastic and he was as witty as ever. I loved how he told the interviewer not to ask him certain questions. And all the answers of his were wonderful. His expressions were so priceless during the interview. Especially when he talked about Abram. Shah Rukh Khan never tries to sound boringly intellectual despite being super intellectual. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you.